Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd. So today we're going to talk about She-Ra. And so I put together a video for you guys of all the She-Ra figures from the 80s. And we are going to talk a little bit about classics and some other things too. But we're going to focus mostly on the figures that were released on the 80s. And not just the figures, but everything in the line that was released for the actual toys. So let's go ahead and go through this.
She-Ra, She-Ra.
This is Adora, He-Man's twin sister. The day she raised aloft her sword, Adora became She-Ra, Princess of Power, the most powerful woman in the universe. This is wicked Catra, feline foe of She-Ra. Catra uses her evil powers to try and take over Etheria. Catra's steed is headstrong Storm.
She-Ra, She-Ra, for the honor of Grayskull. She-Ra, She-Ra.
She-Ra and Catra.
She-Ra, She-Ra, Princess of Power.
New from Mattel.
All right, and of course, children celebrated everywhere. They are all happy because now they could play with She-Ra, He-Man's twin sister. So let's go ahead and go through. First, 1985, so they first got released. And you can see right here we have She-Ra. And, I mean, it's pretty cool. In fact, I don't actually have a She-Ra to show you. It's kind of funny. I actually bought a She-Ra on eBay to show you guys. And for some reason, I lost it. I got it in the mail. I put it on my desk ready to make this video. And I can't find it anywhere. So I do not have a She-Ra to show you. But I do have this She-Ra here. That was one that was released just recently. And it's kind of cool. It's a kind of a throwback to the original She-Ra. It says Princess of Power on it. And this was a PowerCon exclusive. And she has her hair swifted over to one side, which is the way she was in the package all the time in the 80s. So you can see here is the 35-year anniversary of She-Ra. Now, normally She-Ra, and I'll show you this Origins one to show you the concept of the mask. So her mask was made to go either like it shows in the box on that screen right there, like this, so it's like a bow in her hair, or to flip it over and turn it into a mask, and those holes in the bow become eye holes for her mask, so she could then see. And that's the way the original toy was as well. You could see it could go either way. And so what's funny is when they released classics, they decided to have this same play feature. There we go. Let me get my classics over here. And so you can see here she is with her mask over her face. And then if you turned it over, then it was like the toy the other way with the bow on top. Now to make this work, because her hair's so big in this, they actually put a square hole in her head. And it was like, wait a minute, you pour a mask off, that's this big old hole in her head. But the idea worked, you know, and I actually like her better with the mask. I think it looks way cooler. So here's a big old horn sticking up, so it looks more Viking-ish or more warrior-ish, if you will. But you can see that that was kind of the fix. Now this is one of the She-Ras that I kind of customized myself a little bit. And you can see I actually used the mask from the 2000X and put it on her. I think it's kind of a cool way to go. Now in the background you can see I have my other customized She-Ra there on her trusty steed. And there she is, and this is actually a mixture of the bubble power parts and the regular parts to make it my ultimate She-Ra. Alright, let's put her back on the pedestal over here. And let's continue on. So the rest I actually have in alphabetical order. I just wanted to show She-Ra first, even though I know S is not before A. But let's go ahead and talk about... Oh, there's her face, because, of course, in the commercial, she's beautiful. In fact, you know what? Let's watch another commercial.
This is Princess Adora, sister of He-Man, and her gentle horse. Each sold separately, you can pretend.
She's lovely as a flower, but she has a secret power. The magic sword in one stroke, and she's got the strength of a tower. She-Ra, Princess of Power. The fate of the world's in the hands of one beautiful girl. Princess of Power.
She-Ra doll Princess of Power comes with everything you see here. Swiftprint horse sold separately. New from Mattel.
I have to admit those commercials are pretty cool. I don't know who they got to sing the lyrics for, but it's kind of cool. And I could see what the whole draw was for girls of this, because they have a really cool commercial. They got some cool toys. It's kind of like mini little Barbies, but with power, you know. So, and of course, they've probably seen their brothers and their friends at school who are boys play with He-Man, and now they can now share in that playing with He-Man. So, kind of cool. All right, then we have Angella. Now, Angella is also known as Queen Angella, and she is the mother of how can I forget her name? Castaspella? Is that right? Well, the good news is I have the book right here. It wasn't Castaspella. How could I forget? I just knew this just 5 minutes ago before I did this video. So let's look under the Q for Queen, because they didn't stick it under A for Adore, because that'd be too easy. So, dun, dun, dun. Queen Angella. Let's see. Oh, Glimmer. Glimmer. Now I feel really stupid. Yes, her daughter was Glimmer. All right. And so Angella has the big old wings, and she was married to King Micah, and we never got a King Micah figure, but there you go. And you can't see it in this picture, but she's got a halo in the back of her head, too, on top of it. All right, on to the next figure. Next we have Bo. Now, it's funny, I never really collected She-Ra figures as a kid, so to me, these are all kind of foreign. I spent a lot of time trying to research that book. As you could tell, I kind of forgot Glimmer. Anyway, so when I first heard of Bo, I thought, oh, I gotta find Bo because he's gonna be like a He-Man figure. So I expected some big, muscle-bound figure like He-Man, and I was kind of surprised when we got Bo, or I didn't actually get him in the store, but later on I got him on eBay, and he is nothing like He-Man until you look at New Adventures. He's actually a very similar build to New Adventures He-Man. In fact, he's got the blue pants, he's got the same body style. It's very similar and reminiscent of the New Adventures He-Man. So you could put on New Adventures very easily. He fits right in. But as far as fitting in with the 80s He-Man, not too well. Now, I'm going to show you the back of the box because it's the only carded figure I have. And you can see, you know, there says his heart, our special friend of She-Ra. And then it says push button on his back. His heart beats for She-Ra. There you go. And then it shows some other figures in the line. And pretty cool. So there you go. Now I might be throwing this back up on eBay after this video, so I might put a link to the description of my auctions, and I'll probably start the bid at $1 like I usually do for most of my stuff. It was kind of funny. I actually went to Bobacon to get that, and I saw they had Starburst She-Ra and they had other She-Ras, but they weren't in very good shape. But they had a bunch of the clothes, which looked pretty cool too. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get Bo. So I got Bo because I knew I had She-Ra at home, but now of course I can't find her. So, now you can push the button on his back, and where the heart is would actually turn red and light up, because it wouldn't actually turn color. It would just push against the glass, and as it pushed against the plastic glass, you could then see the heart inside push, and it would make it look like it lit up. Is what it looked like, but really it was just the darkness inside the void of the glass would then be blocked by the heart coming forward. All right. Next we have Castaspella. Now Castaspella, you put that thing on her back and it spins. And basically she could cast some different spells and stuff, hence the name Castaspella. Now she was, hold on a sec. I should have turned this off before I started the video. Let me turn it off right now. There we go. All right. So Castaspella, is a direct competition with Shadow Weaver. So Shadow Weaver and Castaspella kind of have their thing going on, and that's pretty much it. So there you go, Castaspella. Next we have Double Trouble. Now Double Trouble was a double agent, and basically she worked for the Princess of Powers on the Great Rebellion side. And she would have kind of a more evil face. So she's basically like Man-E-Faces. You would turn her head on the top, and then she would have a kind of an evil looking face that then she could fit in with the bad guys. And then she would get all the secret plans from the bad guys, and she would tell She-Ra and friends. Now what's interesting is, before She-Ra showed up, Glimmer was in charge of the Great Rebellion. But then when She-Ra came, Adora became in charge of the Great Rebellion, which is kind of messed up. You think all of a sudden, you know, here comes She-Ra or Adora, and she takes over. Now Glimmer, of course, was a teenager, so, you know, she was kind of half-heartedly looking for someone to take charge. But still, the idea that, you know, in fact, at one time, Glimmer actually tried to take over the Great Rebellion again and made her own force. But, you know, I don't know. Kind of crazy. A lot of backstory. Speaking of that, if you didn't know, Bo actually has a big crush on She-Ra. And he, you know, first saw her, it's like, oh, you know, so Bo's the love interest in She-Ra's life, which is kind of messed up because later on we see a guy named Seahawk, and Seahawk's just kind of shoving his way onto Bo's territory. It's like, come on, man. Bo's already claimed her, but for some reason She-Ra likes Seahawk. And it's funny because both figures are based on Errol Flynn, which is an actor from different parts he played in different movies. So both Bo and Seahawk, you know, are both based on the same actor, Errol Flynn. So it is kind of interesting why they're so much alike. I'm thinking that when they made the storyline, it got, you know, too weird to make Bo the love interest anymore. So they had to add a new character, which was Seahawk, a little mysterious on the sea, you know, pirate guy. Anyway, let's continue on. Double Trouble. On to Frosta. Who doesn't love Frosta? Now, even before I was a huge She-Ra fan, I've always liked Frosta. And I like the fact that she lets it known that she actually has a thing for He-Man. And it's pretty funny to watch the cartoons. You see her always throwing herself at He-Man. And it's like, come on, man. She'd be a great catch. I mean, Tita's always giving you shade for being Adam. You got Frosta. And what's funny is, when they released Frosta for the classics, let's see if I can find her here. They gave her this face that was just kind of hideous looking. It's like, I mean, for her to be a love interest of He-Man, it's like, really? That's the face you gave her? I mean, look. Oh, it's not coming in clear. Let's get that clear. I mean, look at that face. That face. So, there's this lady, and she's online, and she makes custom heads. And I got one of her custom heads, and it is so much better. Oh, look at this. There is the Frosta we know and love. So cool. Big old flowing hair, and she did an excellent job hand painting her. So I don't know why Mattel messed that head up, because usually Mattel's heads are pretty good. I mean, the other classics heads look great, but for some reason with Frosta, it's just something went wrong, and I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Fit back in there. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Now, Frosta has snow powers or ice powers. Think of her like Elsa from Frozen, and you pretty much have Frosta. So, actually, one of my favorite YouTubers does all this kind of Frosta stuff. It's kind of fun to watch her little skits she does in her Frosta cosplay and her wanting to help the community. I might post a link to her channel on here as well. Maybe. All right, Glimmer. There we go. Now, Glimmer has some magical abilities too, and of course she is the daughter of Angella, and she was the leader of the Great Rebellion at the beginning. And there is Glimmer. Kowl. Kowl was the all-knowing owl, and the way he worked is you'd open up his chest, and you would see one of these three things, either green, yellow, or red. And so it's almost like a magic 8-ball. If you can imagine, you ask Kowl, so will we defeat the Horde today? And Kowl would give you the green saying yes, or the red saying no, or the yellow saying maybe. Who knows? So basically you would ask Kowl a question, and then you would open his chest up and see what the answer was, or his stomach, and depending on the color, give you the answer. So will Mom say yes to cookies today? Oh, red, no! So basically like a magic 8-ball in She-Ra. So there you go. Kowl, the all-knowing owl. Catra. Now, Catra is supposed to be the evil person in She-Ra. Now, technically, she, in the first year, is the only bad person they have, or evil person they have. So if you don't have Horde figures to go with it, there's only just one, they call her the Jealous Beauty, bad guy in the series. So it's like Double Trouble wouldn't really have a lot to do with Catra. It's like, hey, you know, buddying up with Catra and then finding what she wants and then, you know, turning on her right then and there. I mean, Catra had figured out pretty quick. So hopefully, if you were a She-Ra fan in the 80s, you bought some Horde figures to go with it so you could actually have a bunch of bad guys for She-Ra to fight besides just Catra. But if not, Catra's pretty cool. And in the storyline, she put her mask down, and then in her mask, she turned into a cat. Now, in the toys, they didn't do that. It was just basically you had Catra, and she had a magic mask. So there you go.
You can pretend.
Stealing powers where she's at, a very wild but pretty cat. That's Catra. And here's lovely Frosta, true blue friend of She-Ra.
Dolls each sold separately.
When Catra shows her catty side, Frosta can breathe her in stride. The fate of the world's in the hands of these beautiful girls. Princess of power.
Catra and Frosta dolls each sold separately. She-Ra doll also sold separately. New from the 10.
Alright, so there is Catra. Alright, next they had something called the Fantastic Fashions. And this was little, basically sets of clothes you could buy for She-Ra. Now, what's funny is I actually looked at all 8 they released this year. And I did a lot of research on these. I got to Bobacon to look at the real ones in the boxes and everything else. So I could really know what these were all about. But all of them were only for She-Ra, not for the other characters in the line. Now, each costume would transform into something else. So you'd have the dress look for dinner wear and then wham into the armor of some sort, you know. So every single costume had a multi-purpose type thing to it. So the first one up, oh, this is from the Fantastics Fashion catalog. I put the whole catalog in here, and you can read it there. Each one has a secret surprise I can use to defend Etheria from the nasty Catra. There are 8 Fantastic Fashions to collect, and they fit on all my Princess of Power friends. Look out, Catra. Now, even though they say it's for all the Princess of Power friends, they actually, if you look at the pictures, they're all just on She-Ra in the pictures, and it's kind of clear that they were made for She-Ra, but you could probably put them on anybody, I suppose. Now, what's funny is you can see, as you go through this, they're all about how to defeat Catra, you know, and how nasty Catra is, and Catra this, and Catra that. So I almost wonder, who's the real Jealous Beauty? Is it Catra, or is it She-Ra? Because she spends a lot of time thinking about Catra and ways to defeat her, and stab her, and beat her, and everything else. And of course, you know, Catra's going to react, you know, so I almost wonder if Roy, the protagonist, is She-Ra, because she's the one that builds up all these things to do things against Catra. So let's go ahead and take a look. So the first one is Flights of Fancy, and basically you can see the 2 styles there. And basically, if she has her sword or shield, they fly by her side instantly, and that's the Flights of Fancy, is her weapons flying to her hands. And that way, you know, just let Catra make her mischief. Again, it's all about Catra. There is the Flights of Fancy, and I think I've seen this one. Let's see if I got the video for it. Oh, yes. And this was at Bobacon, and there it is in the package. Pretty cool. You can see the little pink sword there. That's funny. I was on eBay this the other day, and I saw there was a pink sword with a She-Ra, and now I know where it came from. Was this package here, that purplish pink sword. That's funny. I was wondering where it came from. All right, Fit to be Tied. Kind of an interesting name for a costume. But basically, her scarf turns into a saving rope. Can rescue someone in trouble. Even that nasty Catra. Come on, She-Ra. Nasty Catra. You can't just say Catra. You have to throw the nasty in there. Anyway. So there is the Fit to be Tied. There's the long extra scarf in the box. Now, on the back of the box, they also showed all 8 fashions as well, and you can see them right there. Sorry, it's a little bit blurry. And you can see the 8 that we released this year. And there it is in person. Again with the Bobacon for this. Fit to be tied. And next we have Flower Power. Now I'm surprised this didn't go with another character in the line like Perfuma or somebody. But again, the flowery shawl always makes me feel sunny. But the dagger cross, but let danger cross my path. I have Flower Power. Those pretty posies on my shoulder pull out to push trouble away. Take that. Oh, Entrapta. Wow. It's funny, Entrapta wasn't released till the next year, so they must have did a little mixing here. Okay, hold on to your hat. And basically turns any party Catra attends into a surprise party. When Catra starts with her tricks, she is in for a surprise. My sparkly hat becomes a light blinding shield. And that pretty parcel is really a cover for my sword. Take that, Catra! So here comes Catra. She's minding her own business. They're like, oh, she came to the party. Pull out your sword. Shh, flash your hat at her. Bah, blind her. See? See? And that's why Catra is the way she is. Because she was just always dogging her continually. Alright, and there is what it looks like. And here it is. And you can see the shiny hat. Looks like a little reflector. Alright, ready in red. So here we have let weather do its worst. I don't care. This soft furry skirt will protect me from the cold. And I can turn it inside out to protect another way as a suit of armor. The special cape doubles as a net to trap Entrapta or save someone in trouble. Wow, so they have Entrapta listed again. Now, I don't know about you, but a furry skirt is okay, but what about the bare legs and the bare arms? I think it'd still be cold no matter how much fur you have everywhere else, right? There it is. There is the Santa suit for She-Ra. Santa She-Ra. All right, rise and shine. I love to relax in my lacy lounging gown, but I'm always ready to defend Eternia. Quick, Glimmer is cornered by Catra nearby. I must save her. Little does Catra know this lacy gown hides a sparkly suit of armor. I take my robe off, and it's She-Ra to the rescue. Watch out, Catra. Here I come again. Catra, Catra, Catra. There it is. And here it is in the cool box. Alright. Veils of Mystery. They should call it Veils of Misery, right? Do you love surprises? I do. That's why I love this dress. Underneath these layers of veils, underneath my shimmering trim, is a special secret sword so I can stab Catra. So when trouble tries to take me by surprise, I can surprise it in return. Actually, I didn't mention Catra in this one. I added that myself. But still. And there it is. Deep Blue Secret. Now, this one's kind of cool. I almost bought this one just for the secret. What it has is an extra map inside the little fish. And I was tempted to get the map, scan it in at really high res, and release it as a PDF and put a link to this video. Because of the price, I decided not to. So sorry, you guys. Hopefully somebody else that has this does that. That'd be cool. So if you have this, scan that in at a really high DPI and let us all see what the map looks like. And there it is right there. And yeah, I saw it at Bobacon and I almost got it just for the map. But then I changed my mind. Alright, and this was the end of the magazine, the end of the little, looks like the size of a mini comic from the He-Man thing. And there you can put your address in and you can order the magazine. Woo! It expires 12/31/86. So, all right, and then of course the creatures released. This run was Swiftwind, which of course you pulled off the wings and the helmet, and you had her trusty steed Spirit. That's always made me crack up. Swiftwind. It sounds like an old man who's ate too much chili or too many beans. Woo! Got some swift wind there. Sorry, you guys. Anyway.
It's Spirit, Horse of She-Ra. Dazzled separately, you can pretend.
He's more than just a lovely horse. He has a secret power. When She-Ra lifts her sword up high, he's swift wind, he can fly. With his wings and a horn, he's her fabulous unicorn. The fate of the world is flying with you, Swift Wind, Princess of Power.
Swift Wind Horse from the Princess of Power collection. She-Ra dolls sold separately. New from Mattel.
All right, and there is Swiftwind. Now notice Swiftwind's color is a little pink, kind of pearlish looking, and so not like the horse we got for Classics, which is more based on the cartoon than on the toy. Some will call it the royal version. We'll look at the royal version later, but really it's not the royal version either. As you can see, the wings definitely match the cartoon more than the original toy. So there we go. Let's put her back. Oh, there we go. Wonder how long that's been paused for. All right, on to the next one. Arrow. Now Arrow was Bo's horse, and it was a blue horse and kind of cool. And I kind of wish the horse Go Classics was blue like this too, as opposed to the horse we did get that was kind of a orangish tan with pink saddles and stuff. But still, kind of cool they gave Bo a flying horse too. Okay, and this was some kind of giant goose they'd ride on. Get on the goose. And then we had Storm. Storm was Catra's horse. Now, we never got Storm when in Classics, but there it is. And now Crystal Castle. Now, Crystal Castle was the Castle Grayskull, basically, for the She-Ra line. And actually, there's some really cool features about this. One is it has lots of furniture in it, which is really cool. And it has like a map table. And that map table actually has a map of Etheria. So that's really cool. And it has an elevator that goes through all the floors and goes all the way up to the top. And that is actually really cool. So let's take a look.
Gleaming in the morning light, home of She-Ra shining bright. Crystal Castle.
You put it together. She-Ra sold separately. You can pretend.
Magic things shine everywhere, 'cause it has a secret power. Lifted high on her throne, She-Ra saves the world alone. The fate of the world safe in Crystal Castle, Princess of Power.
Crystal Castle comes with everything you see here. She-Ra dolls sold separately. New from Mattel.
Very cool. So there is Crystal Castle. All right. So on to the next year, 1986. Now this year, I call it the year of the mermaid. And you'll see why in a little bit, because we'll see Mermista and all kinds of things that are made just for her. It's also kind of the year of the bugs. We'll see a lot of different bug-type creatures too in here. So let's go ahead. First we have Flutterina. Now Flutterina, I believe the way it worked was very similar to Buzz Off. You hook it to somewhere, then pull it, and she would go up the string. I'm guessing her wings would flap too. That'd be cool if they had some kind of gears in there to do that. I don't know. I've never actually had this Flutterina. Now, we did get a Flutterina in Classics. And I think she is the coolest She-Ra figure out of all the ones we got from Classics. She is my favorite. I just think she's so cool looking. I got her for one for my granddaughter too, and she just loved it with the big old wings and big old butterfly. And I don't know, just a really cool figure. See, this time they did the face right, not like Frosta where they totally messed it up. So, and I don't know again what happened to Frosta. It's just so weird. All right, Flutterina, she could fly. Mermista. Now Mermista is really cool because she had a dual thing you could do with her. She could have legs, or you can slide up this skirt thing and then she turns into a mermaid. And so that's kind of cool. And she has, looks like her horn would squirt water and a shield. So you can see her there. Then we have Peekablue. Now Peekablue basically, when you put the backpack on, it could open up. And when it opened up, then she had like magical powers that could then kind of see things beyond, like almost like like the sort of omen, sight beyond sight, and she could pretty much help She-Ra figure out some things by her extra perception, vision, that she could see things that nobody else could. So kind of an interesting figure. And then we have Perfuma. Now Perfuma was basically like Stinkor and Mossman. It was a smelly figure. Now basically that little thing on the side, the flower would kind of slide forward and like it was blooming, because her power was that she could control flowers and cause them to bloom and stuff. And it's kind of funny, the She-Ra cartoon, she has scenes of her harassing Hordak with flowers, and it's just hilarious. Anyway, Perfuma. Oops, going the wrong way there. And then we have Starburst She-Ra. And the idea is she has this cape that's pink, and then wham! She puts her hands up, and then it's just super bright, and it blinds people with the brightness. Oh, I can't see. So that was our Starburst She-Ra. Now, looking at her face, I think I might have had more Starburst She-Ras when I'd buy figures from people used, because usually they didn't have any armor or anything left over. And because the face does look more like the Starburst She-Ra, the ones that I had, than the regular one. Now, it's supposed to be the exact same She-Ra, but I'm not sure, you know, what the deal was, but she does look a little different to me, but I could be wrong. Starburst She-Ra. There she is. Actually, I have to admit, that's a really good looking carded figure. I'm not sure. This is not mine. I got this online. Whoever's that is, that's a very nice. I mean, you can still see the gold on the wrist, which usually turn brown as time goes on. Her boots turn brown already, but that's a really nice looking She-Ra. So whoever owns that one, kudos to you. Sweet Bee. Now, Sweet Bee flies around, and in the She-Ra cartoon, she was an alien that came to Etheria, and she had like this big old helmet, you know, and then she flew in, and then eventually she became friends with She-Ra and Bunch. And she had the string thing too, just like we saw with Flutterina. Entrapta. Now, Entrapta, I think, is a really cool looking figure, and for a number of reasons. One, she has this twisted hair of color, and second, she has chrome legs. Chrome legs, how cool is that? And she has a chrome top and chrome gloves, and I just, actually, it's a vac metal, I guess, but I always call it chrome, so it looks like chrome. I think that is really cool with the chrome on her and stuff. Now, basically, she's supposed to be the techno wizard for the Horde, and she uses her hair, and her hair can be controlled, and she can entrap people. Kind of like Medusa from Marvel, where her hair, you know, comes to life and can trap people and do things and stuff like that. So, Entrapta, you get entrapped in her hair. And it's funny, one time my wife and I went to Las Vegas, and while we were there, we were walking by a store, and they had some mannequins, full-size mannequins that were chromed out. And all I could think was, wow, it looks like Entrapta. Imagine getting one of these and painting the skin on certain parts, and then you know, painting the skin on the face, and you can make your life-size Entrapta out of it. It'd be kind of cool. Of course, you have to do something with the hair too. But I think she's just such a cool looking figure. Mattel did themselves on this one. Very cool. All right, Scratchin Sound Catra. Hear her scratch when you move her arms. I guess it was some kind of scratching sound. You moved her arms like she was attacking or something. And they also changed her color scheme, which is kind of cool, because when we saw She-Ra in the new suit, she had the same color scheme. Her legs the same. Here they gave her leotards and stripes on them, and it's kind of cool the way they changed the way she looked. So that is pretty cool. Good job, Mattel. She is the jealous beauty. Imagine that being your tagline. So what do? I'm a jealous beauty, you know, not like you know, most powerful man in the universe, or evil lord, you know, or whatever all the other ones, you know. You got jealous beauty. All right, they also gave us 8 more clothes in the line. So we have Blue Lightning, and these are actually really hard to find online, because there's not a lot of these for some reason this second year. Then we have a Colorful Secret, and again, this is not mine. Then we have Frosty Fur. Now that looks pretty cool. It looks like some kind of a Holland type thing or something. I think that's probably my favorite costumes. I love the big old furry boots. I could see using this and Ice Armor He-Man. They go out and battle together against the evil forces of ice creatures. Then we have Heart of Gold. And again, I don't know a lot about these particular costumes. These are much harder to find, even to find information about them. And then we have Hidden Gold, which is kind of confusing. You have Heart of Gold and Hidden Gold in the same year. They both are H Gold. But anyway, and again, I don't know a lot about these particular fashions. And then you have Reflections in Red. Let's see, Secret Surprise for She-Ra and Friends. Ruby red gown, shield becomes a mirror. Okay. Ba-ching! That way you can check your hair and make sure your makeup's okay. I can see if they had a Medusa character that the snakes would turn into stone, that'd make sense to have the mirror shield, but I don't know. Secret Message. Alright. And then we have a Windy Jumper. Oh, a parachute. Look at that. I wonder if it actually worked. I wonder if it had enough parachute power to drop She-Ra down the stairs, you know, from the upper story and see if she could float down. That would be kind of a fun thing if it actually caught enough air to actually bring her down slowly. All right, Butterflyer. Now, I'm sorry, you guys, but this is creepy as all get out. So She-Ra found the Butterflyer in a cave. It was in a cocoon. She breaks open the cocoon, and out comes this beautiful butterfly woman. And they all get inside the hooks, just like the Battle Bones. It's basically She-Ra's version of Battle Bones. You put all the weapons and stuff up under the head by opening that back part where that butterfly is, and then hook their waists into the middle, and then the wings come down and clip on and basically encapsulate all the figures inside this webbing of wings. I mean, you think about it, is what a great way to capture them. I mean, if Butterflyer was evil, you know, she gets everybody in there and then the wings come in and it's just like a Venus flytrap, and she, you know, basically engulfs all of the Princess of Power. So here's the box, and what's funny is it shows a whole bunch of our Princess of Powers, and then it shows Catra on the back. So is she actually a frenemy? You know, I mean, it's kind of weird they show Catra so much. You know, is she actually more than just the bad guy? You know, and what's funny is everything is circled around She-Ra. It's all She-Ra's friends, She-Ra's stuff. So you think about it, these other characters have other connections with other people, which they don't show. So all we see is the She-Ra connection. So maybe somebody else does like Catra. You know, I mean, think about it. When you went to school when you were a teenager, right? You had your circle of friends. Now imagine a cool girl who has blonde hair and cheerleader and everything else, and she has her circle of friends, and you're one of her friends. It does not mean that just because you're one of her friends that all of your friends are her friends too. And this is the same kind of deal where I wonder if some of these other characters might be friends with Catra, but you know, it could work that way, right? I mean, you could have a friend that the cheerleader's not a friend of, right? So it's just kind of an interesting kind of circular kind of thing when you think outside of the She-Ra bubble, that these other characters have their own lives beyond being just She-Ra's friend. So you could almost make a whole storyline just for one of them. I mean, you could take Mermista, and she probably has a whole bunch of other mermaid friends, and, you know, a whole city under the water, and a whole whatever it could be. Just take the story Little Mermaid and apply it to Mermista, and there you go. A whole different thing that She-Ra doesn't even see. So, anyway. Oh, here's the back of the box. Let's go ahead and read this. Once She-Ra was exploring the beautiful caves deep beneath Crystal Castle when she discovered a butterflyer fast asleep in a wondrous magical cocoon. The Princess of Power used her special powers to awaken the butterfly. They became fast friends. Butterflyer carries She-Ra and her friends anywhere in Etheria, sorry, as quickly as the wind. So if Catra's on there, and it says in her friends, at some point, at some level, Catra is still her friend. So it's a frenemy. It's not an actual bad guy. So again, I'm making my case here. I think She-Ra's the one that might have the problem. Because look, Catra's in the back. She-Ra's in the front. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I think she's just getting a bad rap. Oh, I guess it zooms up so you can see it better. All right. Crystal Moonbeam. Now, this was the year also of the clear crystal horses. Now, these are kind of cool. You could see Crystal Moonbeam, where it's kind of a purplish with blue, kind of reddish. Now, there's another picture there, too, of it. I got offline, and she's supposed to be the horse of Peekablue. Then we have Crystal Sundancer. And all these horses came either single or in a 2-pack. And again, you can see she is there with her rider. That would be Sweet Bee. Now it's funny, Sweet Bee normally has pink wings. There's the classic Sweet Bee right here. But I was not a huge fan of these pink wings because she's supposed to be a bee, right? She's supposed to be like Buzz-Off's counterpart, which she's pretty good looking for being a bee. I mean, you've seen how Buzz-Off looks? He looks nothing at all like an attractive person. So I went ahead and made my own version where I actually took the 2000X Buzz-Off wings and put them on her. And I think it looks way better, more bee-like than the other one. Now she has these holes in her hair for the wings to fit in there. So see, way cooler than the pink one. But, you know, the pink one's what the toy was and what it was put in the cartoon, so who am I to take and make her with yellow wings? But still, I think it looks really cool. Anyway, oop, knocked her wing down. Alright, sorry to digress. On to the next crystal horse, Crystal Swiftwind. Now, this is a pretty cool looking horse. I have to admit that I almost did get this one. They did have it at Bobacon, and I was really eyeing it. And I saw it online also at an eBay auction, but I wouldn't get it in time before this video. So I thought, I'm not going to get the one online. And I decided not to get the one at Bobacon either. But it is pretty cool looking. I mean, being a fan of Micronauts when I was a kid, clear figures are the coolest. So, there you go.
Princess of Flowers, Starburst She-Ra. Oh, Swiftwind, you're crystal clear and more beautiful than ever.
Crystal Swiftwind, Starburst She-Ra, and Catra dolls, each sold separately.
Now, your beautiful wings and magic horn. I want Crystal Swiftwind. My dazzling Starburst cape will stop you. Outshined again. I think Catra has seen the light.
Starburst She-Ra and Crystal Swiftwind, each sold separately. New from the Princess of Power collection. Catra also sold separately.
Alright, Crystal Swiftwind. Sea Harp. Now, I don't actually have a Sea Harp to show you, but I'm guessing that that switch on the back is probably different songs as you set it up. Because it says on the back right here that Sea Harp is a mystical seahorse who once lived deep beneath Crystal Falls. When She-Ra needs to summon her friends, she has Sea Harp play a musical message which can be heard throughout Etheria. The Sea Harp carries She-Ra and her friends swiftly over the land and off to new adventures. That is pretty cool. So we have lots of different flying creatures that can take them where they need to go. We have the Sea Harp. You know, actually, does it fly? You know what? I bet you it's supposed to float on the water. That's my guess. I don't think it's supposed to fly. It just says Sea Harp carries She-Ra and her friends. Oh, over land and over... Okay. I don't know. Doesn't always seem to have any wings. Oh well. I can't go back to my other picture. Let's continue on. Clawdeen. This is cool. We have Clawdeen. I mean, who doesn't like cats, right? I mean, cat videos are #1 on the internet, right? So, finally they gave her a cat to ride. Now she can ride a cat like He-Man or Skeletor or anybody else with their cat. In fact, I think it's really cool. Now, this is not the cat she turns into, which was, mistaken by a lot of people. This is the cat she rides. So it's a little bit different, and I don't think in the toy line she actually turned into the cat, just in the cartoon only. But that's pretty cool. The saddle's a little taller than I thought it should be for her to ride it. It's kind of strange how tall the saddle is, but it's still a very cool toy line. All right, Crystal Falls. Now this is why I call this the year of the mermaid, because we got a whole entire playset, and this playset's basically, now it's Crystal Falls, but it's basically based for Mermista. So you can see you got Mermista right there in the front of the box art, and it has flowing water. This is basically the She-Ra version of the slime pit, but instead of slime we got water. But how cool would that have been if the slime would have been pumped through and kept going with a pump? That'd have been really cool. Anyway.
You can pretend magic rather gently calls, refresh our powers at Crystal Falls. You put it together. Starburst She-Ra and Mermista dolls each sold separately. What a lovely place to be, feeling pampered beautifully. With seashells and showers that have secret powers. The fate of the world in good hands at Crystal Falls. Princess of power. Crystal Falls and Mermista with Mermaid Tail each sold separately. Starburst She-Ra doll also sold separately. New from Mattel.
All right. See, what little kids don't enjoy playing in the water? I mean, how fun is that? So I imagine this is probably a pretty big toy that kids really enjoyed a lot. All right, on to the next year, 1987. This is when you got Bubble Power She-Ra. And the idea is basically the little wheel spins around and collects bubbles inside the little bottom piece, and you blow out bubbles. Now we did get a Bubble Power She-Ra from Classics. Here she is right here. I think I got her bubble wand somewhere in this mess of figures. Oh, there it is. Now the Classics one does spin it not very well. I tried to blow bubbles one time, not very successfully. I'm hoping the original toy actually worked better, but she does have a different sword and a different headdress and a skirt that goes over the top of the normal She-Ra figure. So there you go. Now, on the Classics line, they added a split on her side of her skirt so she could ride Swiftwind, because they unfortunately made it so that the original She-Ra didn't have that split, and she was not able to ride Swiftwind when Swiftwind came out. See, here's the original She-Ra skirt, and it's just trapped. No opening up the legs. Now, some people did make slits, and I saw some people online when they made the slits that actually ripped up higher. So I was telling people, take a hole punch and make a small little hole, then make your slit. Otherwise, it will keep cracking up. The hole will stop the stress from going up the actual figure. All right. And again, there she is. And again, what kids don't love bubbles? Come on. It's Bubble Power She-Ra. So, looks like a lot of fun there. All right. Loki, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Loki? Basically, he's a guy who looks around. And in the She-Ra cartoon, he was always hidden somewhere. You had to find Loki. Where is he at? And the toy, basically, he had a motorized, and as he'd be motorized forward, his eyes would go doop, 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 back and forth. So that's kind of how he worked. And kind of a fun little gadget there. Kind of like a troll doll with his hair all sticking up, but kind of cool. So there we have Loki. Not sure. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. And we did get a Loki toy with the Classics, but I'm not going to go there. You guys have probably seen them before. Netosa. Anyway, very cool looking figure. I love her color scheme. That deep dark blues just goes great with her color scheme, and the silvers. And the idea is she pulls off her net from her cape and she tosses it and captures people like Entrapta or Catra in her net. So there you go. Spinnerella. Spinnerella, I think, is again one of the coolest figures, just like Entrapta. She has these things hanging down that as she spins, they twirl and stuff and makes it just really cool. And if you try to find her online, oh man, is she expensive. She is a fortune. But she came with this small little twisty thing you could see there, which would she would stand in, and that would also spin around too and creates a little bit of wind. So there you go. There is Spinnerella. Very cool figure. Very hard to find. Now there's a lot of aftermarket pieces to replace the actual streamers hanging down from her. So a lot of people will get those aftermarket ones that people have made from third parties. Now we did get her in the classics line. Ooh. Here she is right here. Oh. And these are hard plastics, so doesn't have quite the same effect, but still very cool. Now the front of her hair looks really cool. The back's kind of strange though, with the big old curls. When you think about it, that is a lot of hair. It's like something from you'd see in the beginning of the country being formed, with the big old curls like that. But there you go. And she did not come with a spinning base. Mattel, you should have gave her a spinning base for us. Anyway, let's continue on. Okay, now we have Shower Power Catra, and again we got another costume for her and a different colored tights, so it's kind of cool. They changed her up yet again, and it looks like her little weapon there squirts water of some kind. And so again, like I said, the year of the mermaid, because again we have lots of water stuff. We got Crystal Falls, we got this thing squirting, and kind of cool how we have all the mermaid water type stuff. And she has a brand new mask to go with it, and there she is. Very cool. Shower Power Catra. Royal Swiftwind. Now, Royal Swiftwind, as you can see, is more white, which is what that horse was kind of based on. But you can see it doesn't have all the gold as we see in this horse. So it was the white version of the horse, but the tail's the wrong color, and the armor and everything else is all wrong. But the wings, like I said, that was actually based on the cartoon, even though they said it was the Royal Swiftwind, but really it was just the cartoon version. All right. Then we have Silver Storm. Silver Storm was a different horse you could get for Catra. So there you go. I'm surprised they didn't make a crystal horse for Catra. I think kind of cool, but oh well. Silver Storm. All right, so grab your best friend, go run home, and go play with your She-Ra stuff, because it is time, and that is the last She-Ra thing that was released. And so thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. I should have some more She-Ra stuff later on. As time goes on, I'm going to hopefully go through all the classics figures and show a few every single video, and we'll have a lot of fun going through those. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you do, share it with a She-Ra friend. If you know someone who loves She-Ra, share us with them, and post in the comments. Post what I got wrong, and maybe I'll make a new updated version of this video later on. So let me know what you think. Let me know what I got wrong, because I'm not a She-Ra guy. Hopefully I got most of it right though. But if not, let me know, and maybe I'll have to remake an updated version later on. All right, well, thank you again. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next video. Bye now.